So, welcome to a new interview here in the Energy Bridge. Today we have the honor to interview one of our professors in the Master in Renewable Energies, Mr. Roger Hackstock.
Right.
Well pronounced.
Perfect.
And today we're going to explore solar thermal technology. You being as managing director, right, from Austria Solar Association, which is, you were telling us before, just for thermal.
It's only for solar thermal.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a member of the board, director of boards of the European solar thermal industry. So Solar Heat Europe, the European Solar Thermal Industry Association. I'm also a member of the board of directors.
Oh, well, so we are very happy to have you here. Thank you for coming. And let's dive in solar thermal.
Thank you, Roger, for giving us the time. We were actually looking into everything that we want to know from you, because first of all, we are also called the energy bridge, not the electricity, because heat takes it's another form of energy which needs to be decarbonized a lot, and there has to be a lot of work to be done. Please, Roger, tell us about your career journey. It's been a long journey. So where did you start from, and how did you end up at the association where you're managing it? Please tell us about it.
Yeah, firstly, that energy bridge is very wiser than electricity bridge, because as we always say, heat is half. Heat is half of the energy demand in Europe.
We have seen that we are electrified worldwide like 22-23%.
Yeah, and it's the same in Europe. It's the same, right? Yeah, electrified 20%, 25%, and heat is half, and the rest is mobility from the energy demand side. So heat is the largest demand in energy. What we have.
Hot topic.
It's a hot, really. That's a very. I'll remember that. Yeah, and may I take it? Okay, yeah, I use it. Yeah. Hot topic. And I even had one podcast done with a British company, and the podcast was named Hot Stuff.
Okay.
And it was a producer of solar thermal collectors. So heat is half. That means it's the largest heat demand, the largest energy demand, and that's also what interested me most. The large energy demand. And
but from the beginning?
No, I started with there was a self-built movement of solar thermal collectors in the 1980s. When I started after my studies on electrotechnical engineering on the Technical University, I started in an interdisciplinary research group where we wrote down the history, the very young history, short history of this self-built group. So we digged into this self-built. This was my start with solar thermal, self-built groups. So they built people on homemade on weekend, but with building groups. It's organized self-built groups. It's not do-it-yourself, the classical do-it-yourself. You go somewhere, buy the stuff and build it yourself, but it's self-made groups. They built with machines, and so they built themselves on weekend solar collectors. So it's solar thermal started like that, you could say, in Austria. There had been companies before, but it started with companies, but this was the first swing of solar thermal was with these self-built grooves in the 1980s.
Okay.
And this was my first research issue, the self-built movement. Yeah.
What was the issue?
A very interesting issue, interdisciplinary from a technological side, from a legal side, from a social side, and so on. And afterwards, I worked in the Austrian Energy Agency as an expert for renewable energy, and also I was the assistant of the managing director. That's where I learned how to work as a managing director.
Okay, cool.
I was the personal assistant. And then Austria Solar was founded in 1999. And in 2002, they asked me if I'd like to take over the managing director, because the former managing director left. And yes, there was a hearing of 4 people. I won. And since last year, I celebrated my 20 years of managing director of Austria Solar.
Wow, congrats.
With 3 years break in between. So I was there 12 years, 3 years break, and then 8 years. I came again. They took me back to Austria Solar. Yeah.
Could you please tell us about what the association does?
Yeah, the association does was what all technology associations do. All have the same job. Yeah, they make 3 things. They make or 4 things. They make public relation to tell the good stories to the media and everything. They do quality assurance. So they have a label, for instance. We have an Austria quality label, Austria Solar quality label, and they do lobbying for better laws, better framework conditions for the branch, yeah, to reduce the obstacles on the market. And the 4th is to keep the members of the association happy. This is the 4th part of work, because the member of the associations finance the association. So these associations are not state financed, but privately financed by Austria Solar. We have 100 members, company members, and they finance the association.
Wow.
And we do projects, but mainly it's members' fees.
How do you manage 100 associations inside, like different voices?
No, 100 companies. 100 companies, from producers, traders, to research organizations, to installers, to project developers. 100 companies that are active in the solar thermal business everyone on a different part of the value chain. There is the value chain, and they are sitting in the value chain on different places, and all of them are members of the association.
Yeah, and how is to coordinate such amount of different
We don't coordinate 100 companies. We do the 4 pillars for the branch, and all members profit from what we are doing. So if we change the framework conditions, it's the framework condition for all. If we do public relation work, then all companies profit from the positive public relation on solar thermal in media. Yeah. So it's not that we coordinate their work; they are private entities, but the association is. If you could think from the opposite side, if you do not have an association as a branch, then there is no one who takes care on the framework conditions, on subsidies, on laws, on nothing. Yeah, there is no one who takes care. Yeah, that they favor your business. Yeah, there is no one who takes care that the technology or your solution is communicated to the public. No one. Yeah, and there is no one who takes care that there is a common quality label. So if people are stepping into the market and offering low quality, then you're powerless normally, but it's powerful if there is a quality label. And also the public authorities, they say, if you want a subsidy or so, this quality label has to be fulfilled. Yeah. So only the good companies fulfill and they are in the association, the good companies.
And you maintain the prestige and the safety of the technology, so it grows. Okay.
So this is the work of Austria Solar, and this is the work of all associations. They have all the same work with different issues, but the work is the same.
And you have to also further engage with the European Association and other country.
European Association is a bit different because it's mainly lobbying for the regulations. So there are these European regulations, and it's important that solar thermal is included in this favorably included in this legislation, in these regulations, European regulations. And that's the reason why there are so many associations and lobbyists in Brussels, because they are doing exactly that, to help to create and decide favorable regulations for the technology, for the solutions, and so. And they coordinate the national associations, because Austria Solar is a national association, but also the European Association only has 25 members or so, or 20 members. It's only national associations are members, and some big companies, but mainly it's an association of the associations. Yeah, so it's an umbrella organization, you could say.
And you're also in
I'm in the umbrella organization. I'm in the board of directors also.
Have you seen the similar challenges being in a European level and national level?
Yeah. There's challenges are different because on the European level, to to shape a regulation is different to shape as a national law. These are different game level playing fields. Yeah.
Okay.
It's only the board of directors is more a supervising task for the managing director there and for the work there.
Okay. Okay.
Because there I'm not the managing director, I'm in the board of directors. Austria Solar has also a board of directors. Their task also is supervising my work. So I'm there, here I'm the managing director, and there I'm the supervisor.
Roger, it's actually very important to understand also that why these associations, you said associations are very important, and mostly for a lot of energy topics we have associations, but how do the different associations coordinate with each other as well? Like, because the energy topics are so overarching and related.
Yeah, you could say in Austria, since 5 years, there is a quite good cooperation since we started to share an office. We have this renewable energy house at the Schwedenplatz in Vienna.
Yeah.
It's right in front of the underground station. So you're welcomed.
Okay.
Also the listeners are welcomed if they call us to visit us at the Renewable Energy House, where all associations are there, from wind to biomass to photovoltaics, solar thermal, small water power, all of them. Biogas, we are all there. The associations are there, and this also helps that it helps the group building really, and we are working hand in hand with other associations if there is a common issue. Like the electricity, all electricity associations are now working together on this electricity law.
Yeah, we're going to go into that topic later. You have been in the sector and from the association from 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the main differences that you have seen in the legal framework from then until now? And what helped to grow this technology?
The biggest difference is that the legal framework is there now and was not there then. There was, for instance, no electricity law that organized photovoltaics, for instance. It was not there. 2002, 2003, 2005, the first electricity law. So in 2002, there were some laws not there that we needed urgently and that are there already now. So this is the biggest difference, that framework conditions were missed then.
So with clear rules, the industry can be deployed. That's the point.
Rules are very important. If there are no rules, and if there is, especially, you need rules that the renewables become a business case. Yeah? The rules by law, the national rules by law help or decide if renewables, independently of the renewable source, become a business case or not. If electricity from the sun or from wind, or if heat from the sun, or if biogas is a business case or not. And if it's not a business case, there is no rise, on the market, no market rise, there are no producers, there is no branch.
Did you receive subsidies with this technology for solar thermal back in the day?
Yeah, for solar thermal there are we had state subsidies, we have nine states. You call it state, I think? Yes. Regions, yeah. 9 regions. And the 9 regions, some of them had subsidies since 30 years, since the 90s. Yeah, not all of them, but we had regional subsidies since the 90s. And in the first decade, from 2000 to 2010, there was a solar thermal race of all provinces want to have subsidies, and they were arguing that we have the best subsidy, and then the next stepped in with a better subsidy. There was a really subsidy race, and the first 10 years of the 21st century was perfect. And then Vienna had the best subsidy, solar thermal, and all regions in Austria had subsidies, and all regions did solar thermal campaigns, even campaigns with very active campaigns with media and with workshops, events in the public, and so on. And
mostly for the households.
Mostly for households, right? Mostly for households, and that's really pushed solar thermal up to 2008, 2009. These were the largest years up to now, with 1,000 square meter solar thermal installed a day in all of Austria.
For
A
how
day.
many years?
2008 and 2009, 2 years.
2 years. Wow.
1,000 square meter. That was the peak. That was the peak.
And how is now?
It's 1/4 of it.
Okay.
We lost almost 80% of our market since then in Austria with solar thermal. Yeah, it went down.
We'll go into the detail of that reason of going down, but if you could just touch it upon, was the
one big reason is photovoltaics. That means that photovoltaic became cheaper, and the attention was shifted from solar thermal to photovoltaic. The attention of the people. Everyone only was looking on photovoltaic. There also was movement there. It was from China, and it became cheaper and cheaper. And they had this fight: is it okay that it comes from China? So it was always in the media, yeah, with argues for and against. The whole awareness of the people shifted to photovoltaic. And this really solar thermal kind of fall off the table, and photovoltaic increased largely. Yeah, so this was one main reason. Yeah, and everyone was talking about electricity. That started 20 years ago. Everyone talks about electricity, and also solar thermal is not electricity.
Yeah,
and also the wood boilers are not electricity. They are suffering from the same bias of the discussion. Yeah.
How do you think have influenced your technical background into the lobby or the legal discussion? Because we have heard that to make political decisions, you can have all the data on the table, but take a different decision. So how do you think that have shaped your technical knowledge into the discussion?
It's not so much a technical issue. Political framework conditions don't really base so much on technical data, technical decisions. It's more an economical or a social decision on which technologies fit in an ideology or fit in a picture of an energy future, yeah, or fit in a economical framework. That, for instance, if you need subsidies, then it's the question is there enough money there, public money, to offer the subsidies, to finance the subsidies. Yeah. So it's more; these are more the pillars that decide is there pressure from the market. So also the regions, they raised on the best solar thermal subsidy to have, because they realized that people want it. There was a really an increase in attention of the people, and they were activated on solar thermal. There was a market pressure from the market, from bottom up market pressure, and the politicians, they realized that. They always react was what do politicians? Yeah? Politicians react on what the people want.
Okay.
And that's also what they say. And if the people want something and they realize there is something to gain for them, there is a wave on a technology, it's increasing and the people are talking about it, and then they surf on that wave, and then they try to implement framework conditions that facilitate more of it.
More than technical, you have developed political.
Yeah, right. Not so much, right.
And now you are in Brussels, maybe because of that, right? Yeah.
No, it was. The board of directors consists of the members of the association, so that consists of national associations. It's only 6 people, and there are, let's say, 2 tickets for associations, 2 tickets for industry, 2 tickets for project developers, and so. Yeah, and on the 2 tickets of the associations. We are a member of the European Solar Thermal Industry Federation since almost the start of Austria Solar. Okay. And now, it's a matter of age. Yeah, now they said, okay, experience. Experience. Let's name it experience. Yeah, it's a matter of experience, and now it was okay. They asked me several times. I said no, and now I said yes. And
what's the current state right now in the solar thermal? What is happening in the industry? From your association perspective, where do you see industry moving, and do you have more companies coming in to be partner in the association, or how do you feel the
Yeah.
industry is reacting.
What happened during the last 10 years is that the market shifted from the private households or for housing and apartments to business applications, to process heat, to district heat, to cooling, yeah, also solar cooling, yeah.
Okay.
And it shifted to other, and also the technology partly shifted to, we have these PVT hybrid collectors that produce electricity and heat in one collector, yeah.
Okay.
So we have technological, or we have large square meters collectors now. We had not there 20 years ago, yeah. One collector with, I don't know, 20 square meter, one collector, yeah, not for the district heating sites where there are thousands of square meters installed. So this shift to other demand groups, other customer groups, yeah, this happened during the last 10 years. Largely, we also had new subsidy schemes on that helped from the climate fund, the large scale solar thermal installation subsidies. And this is what happened. We have dozens of solar process heat, solar district heating installations that have not been there 20 years ago or 15 years ago even. Yeah. So many larger with megawatt installations. 1 megawatt is 1,400 square meters of solar thermal collectors. Is a power of 1 megawatt if the sun is shining straight on it. Yeah. So this is what happened. It shifted. The market shifted. And also the activities shifted of the association, that we have more, for instance, in October, I did send out the invitation today. On the 13th of October, we have an event in Innsbruck in Tyrol on solar process heat for companies, for instance, yeah, together with associations on this field, associations of companies, yeah. But we had several of these events during the last 10 years. To show companies how to implement solar thermal in process heat, for process heat, yeah, in their company. This shifted, and also we did that also for utilities to include, we worked out several tools that help utilities and regional energy managers to implement solar thermal in district heating systems, for instance, yeah. Biomass district heating systems assisted by a solar thermal collector field that fits in heat in summer and reduces the need for biomass.
Yeah. I have a question that is not in the paper, but I always heard in Chile we have a huge solar potential, and there was a discussion in some point like, yeah, but solar thermal, you have the heat in summer when you kind of don't need to be heated because you need it in winter. So have you heard this kind of discussion? Is it also here? What would you say on that?
This is always the prejudice, always the discussions, yeah, that it's only the heat in summer. But for instance, district heating, we have 2,300 district heating systems in Austria, and 1,600 are running also in summer because they need hot water. Yeah, I mean, if it's hot, you don't shower with cold water. Yeah, you shower with a bit hot water. With it, it's when it's a bit warm water, not hot but warm. And people need also warm water in summer. So the district heating systems run also 1,600, two-thirds run also in summer with less heat demand. But they run also in summer, and they have not only households on the grid, they have hospitals on the grid, for instance. They have housing for elderly people on the grid, and they need warm water all during the year. Yeah? And so it makes sense to have this installation. It means that normally the large-scale solar installation runs from June to September alone with no added heat. Yeah, so the boiler is very bored. Yeah, so they have nothing to do. And in winter and in the autumn and spring season, the solar installation assists the boiler. Yeah.
Okay.
So if there is a sunny day, then it heats up the puffer tank to, I don't know, 20, 30 degree, and the boiler only has to do the difference between this 30 degree and the net temperature. Yeah. For instance, that also saves resources and biomass and
sure.
Yeah.
How much of the demand of district heating is covered by the solar thermal in Austria?
Normally, and you can see it on our website, we have a gallery with on solarwärme.at, a gallery on 80 different applications. Also a couple of district heating, and then you can see that in average the annual coverage, solar coverage of the total net demand is around 15 to 20%. That's a very usual number. If you can see at the practical examples, and in summer 100%.
Yeah.
So in July, August, it's 100% often, and over the whole year, the overall annual coverage, solar coverage, is around 15 to 20%.
Okay.
That's the usual one. Yeah.
And
Usual number.
we were looking for some campaigns with solar thermal, and we came across with the SHE's program, which is a solar roof mandate. Does it have some kind of goal?
SHE is Solar Heat Europe.
Yeah, solar rooftop mandate.
Yeah, the solar rooftop mandate, that's an European regulation. That's part of the EPBD. There is this European Performance Building Directive, EPBD, yeah. And the EPBD, this building directive that's in force already, has different paragraphs and different issues. One issue is a rooftop mandate, so that all new roofs have to be, or mandated, have to install a solar technology. Can be either PV or solar thermal. So we are fighting for the result that it's not only PV. Yeah, because if you do nothing, it's only PV. Yeah, because everyone is talking about PV and electricity needs heat, but talks about electricity. Yeah, and now the all states, all nations, all 27 member states have time until May next year to transfer this regulation to national law.
The transposition.
The transposition. They have to transpose it from European law to national law in their building regulations. And so also in Austria, all regions and all states are changing their building regulations now in these months, yeah, and in this year, to fulfill the regulation until May next year.
Okay, and
to include this solar roof mandate in the existing building regulations.
Okay, and so in order to do that, do you work with energy community?
We work in Austria. It's a special case. In Austria, we have an organization that's called OEB, Austrian Institute for Building Regulations, OEB, Österreichisches Institut für Bauordnung, and they worked out a proposal which then will be taken over by the regions. Yeah, so they don't do it themselves, but they work with the OEB to create a national common new building regulations from 2026 onwards to fulfill the building regulation parts of issues of the European regulation. And this is already done. This is about to be published in the next weeks.
Okay.
The next weeks, yeah. We were involved in that to secure that the building regulation is, as it is meant by the European building regulation, is not only implemented with PV. Yeah. And that's meant that it's even in the building regulation, the European regulation, there is this mandate, and there is mentioned especially explicitly that it should not only favor PV. That's explicitly in the European regulation, but you have to take care that it will be like that also on the national level. Yeah, it's not automatically. Yeah, but it's about to be in force. This common template for the regions. Yeah.
And what does it mean that? How is translated? Like every new building must have some PV?
It's in the European Building Directive. There is a kind of step-by-step implementation plan in the directive. Yeah. So first, only public buildings are obliged to have the obligation to install only new public buildings. Okay. And 1 year later, it's a plan up to 2030. Yeah. And 1 year later, only existing public buildings, but only large existing public buildings, and commercial buildings, and only new commercial buildings. And a year later, the smaller buildings and also the new buildings. And so it starts with, it's a progressive step-by-step implementation plan that's fixed and formulated in the directive.
Maybe from your perspective, from association, maybe in a broader view in the region, how is the CEE region making with solar thermal?
Poorly.
Poorly, huh?
Yeah, they are doing poorly with solar thermal. There is, for instance, no association in Hungary.
Okay.
There is no association in Croatia, also, as I know. No in Romania. None in Bulgaria. There are no.
Why?
No.
Why could it be?
It's a bit. We are a bit wondering also on why it doesn't work out. We don't really understand. Partly it is because there are framework conditions missing, as I told before, that are favoring the development of a branch of a market. Yeah, these framework conditions are partly not there in favorable framework conditions like subsidies and so in Eastern Europe. Even once in Budapest, in Hungary, to help a national association to be born. I was a kind of birth helper.
Yeah.
And I was there and I argued why it's necessary to have this association, but they were discussing it a couple of months and then the idea died down again, and I don't know why. It's a bit mysterious why.
Even in today's scenario, you said about 20% of district heating goes via the solar thermal.
Could be covered by solar thermal,
So they're missing out that potential.
And even in Serbia and in Bosnia and Herzegovina, there are several cities that are discussing and even planning large solar thermal district heating systems. So the issue is there. There is even an industry interest there. There are projects there, but there is no association.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's only this segment with the district heating.
Do you think that this European mandate could foster it?
That's the hope.
Okay.
That's the hope we have. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the hope. I mean, there is a domestic hot water and domestic heating solar thermal market also in Eastern Europe countries, but it's a very small market. There are companies there and so, but there is no branch and everyone does his business alone and very small and not industrial.
Roger, going forward, what's in the future for solar thermal going forward? Vienna still has a lot of gas-powered district heating network. How do we decarbonize? Do you think the solar thermal can be the answer going forward as well? Do you see it increasing in the mixed scenario?
Sometimes I say when we have reached in Austria the 100% green electricity target 2030, then many people will wake up and say, oh, and still we are importing fossil fuels. Why? Because we reached the target we were talking about 10 years, and it was the only target in our mind and the only awareness, and now we reached it. And what happened that we still import still import fossil fuels, and then we realize, oh, we have a share of 60-70% in fossil fuels in heating and 90% in mobility, and we should cope with heat and mobility now, because these problems are untackled mostly. But we will wake up when we have reached the other target, which everyone is talking about. Probably 2030, some people will start to think about, we didn't tackle the bigger problem. That's and then this could help solar thermal.
And would you say that with solar thermal could be cover all the district heating demand?
You could cover 15 to 20% without the seasonal storage. If you have no seasonal storage, and we don't have this large yet, we don't have these large installations in Austria, these large examples, practical examples with seasonal storage, because with seasonal storage you can cover up to 50% of a city.
Okay.
Yeah?
You mean the thermal heat could be stored?
It's stored over months. You have a much larger installation, and a seasonal storage with 100,000 of cubic meters of hot water, digged into the ground. It's a like a swimming pool, right? and with a swimming insulation on it. You can walk on it. I already did that in Denmark. It's
Okay.
spooky if you walk on a lightly moving surface, 20, 30, 50 meters from the shore on this storage, and 30 centimeters below you there is water with 80 degrees.
Oh, wow.
It's a bit spooky, the feeling. I did that.
Okay.
I did that, Then the large solar installation feeds in summer much more heat than is needed, into the storage. And then in end of September, beginning of October, when heating season starts, there is a storage with 300,000 cubic meters of 80 degrees hot water. And then you fit this into the district heating grid, and it takes a time until this is used up. And you also use large heat pumps to that step in if the temperature is, let's say, 5 or 10 degrees too low for the grid. So it's still hot, but it's too low for the grid. The grid has 90 degrees and you have 70 degrees out of the storage. Then the 20 degrees difference will be heated by a heat pump, a large heat pump. And so you can use it over months further, the storage. And in spring, in February, at the beginning, mid of February or end of February, the storage is down to, let's say, 20, 30 degrees. But then the sun starts to shine again. And already in March, end of February, beginning of March, the storage is heated up again slowly. And the game starts again in October.
Okay, so the seasonal storage, you mean how many months? 3, 4 months?
Yeah, you can during winter. You even can take out heat at Christmas from the seasonal storage.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
it's empty in January.
And is it the only technology that you are evaluating? Just insulated tanks, or also salt?
It's the most major technology, the most wrapped or the major technology, most developed technology. There are other storages like with chemical storages with latent heat and with wax and other stuff, but we have these storages in laboratories since decades, and they never found their way to the market. So this hard shift from laboratory to market, they never did it until now, and we are urgently, desperately waiting for these technologies, because this would be the seasonal storage on a smaller scale. You could use it for a building, for instance, but in a building you would need not this seasonal storage with water, but with zeolite or other materials. It's a chemical storage. Okay. But that never made it to the market yet.
You thought a very interesting point when you said that the 10 to 20 degrees that is still remaining from the insulated water can go and can be used by heat pumps. So the very interesting thing that we wanted to also ask you was that the heat pump is dominating the sector now for the heat. And do you think that solar thermal and heat are complementary to each other, or you think that going forward that it will get phased out?
I realized how complemented solar thermal and heat pumps are when I screened our gallery with the 80 examples, because I wanted to find out with which technologies solar thermal in our examples is combined, with heat pumps, with district heating, with wood boilers. And then surprisingly, I realized that let's say 60 out of our 80 examples are combined with heat pumps. So it's a very valid combination, as you can see in our gallery. Different examples. It's independently if this is a hotel, if this is a residential building, if this is a company, different sizes, different applications. There are heat pumps everywhere combined with solar thermal. And one quite favorable combination is, for instance, if you have a ground heat pump using ground heat with boreholes, then in summer the solar thermal is used to recover the boreholes, because normally you take out in winter energy from the boreholes to heat your house, then the borehole gets energy again from the earth around, but slowly. And if you take more out of it in winter, then can move again to, or can recover by the earth in summer. Then in a couple of years you have there an ice cube, because it gets colder. Each winter it gets colder than in the winter before, And you need this for heating your house, and you can prevent it by recovering the boreholes by solar heat, so that fit in solar heat to the boreholes to heat it up in summer, so that the heat pump finds a warm borehole in October. Warmer than normal. It's not at 80 degrees. It's then, let's say, 25 degrees instead of 10 degrees. So it's a warmer borehole, and you can take out this energy until it gets 10 degrees as it would have had before, and then you can reduce this temperature as you would do normally to 4 degrees or so until the end of the heating season. So the combination of solar thermal, heat pumps, and boreholes is very common.
What is the range of heat that we get from solar thermal, the max?
Normal collectors, you get operating heat 90 degrees, let's say,
Okay.
And you get into the storage, and you mix it with cold water when you use it. I mean, you have a storage with 90 degrees, and then you use only 50 degrees or so at the shower and so, and you mix it with cold water. But 90 degrees is the maximum temperature, running temperature of normal flat plate collectors. There are also these other technologies, these heat pipe collectors. You might know these glass tubes, evacuated heat pipe collectors, and because of the vacuum,
but they are super efficient. So
they are super efficient, and you have then, let's say, 120, 130 degrees operating temperature with the same efficiency than the flat plate collector with 90 degrees.
Actually, in Chile they were thinking about forbidding them because they were so efficient that people were risky to be burned. But
it's only, you shouldn't come into contact with the solar thermal circuit. I mean, it's you should only come to contact with what comes out of the storage. And that the storage is never 130 degrees. It's a.
You briefly also mentioned that there are new kind of industry coming for process heat via solar thermal. What are those kind of industries?
The most favorable industrial branches are food and beverage. Chemical, because often they have to evaporate something by 100 degrees, or they have processes with 80, 90, 100 degrees. Concrete, because there's companies who build concrete walls not on site, but who build it in ready done concrete walls with doors and windows and everything in their factory, and then bring it to the building site. This is done also with 50 degrees, 70 degrees to harden the concrete. Coating, for instance. So if you coat something, if you paint and coat metallic parts, metal parts, for instance, and put a white color on it, and then this bath, this paint bath has to be warm. Also afterwards to dry the coated metal parts. You have to dry it. Also that you need let's say 70 degrees, 80 degrees or so hot air. And these are all the applications for solar thermal, perfect application for solar thermal. And
your thesis, that's why you're asking.
It's for you. You have perfect applications for solar thermal with that.
Well, time is flying.
And you come from Chile, you said? Yeah. And then you might have heard about the solar thermal installations that they're minings.
They're mining for
very high, located on 4,000 meters latitude or so, And these are the one of the largest installations of the world, In Chile, there had been 15 years ago or so a large installation, and now it was added by a second large installation in Chile. There is a new installation. big installation. And it was funny how it came to that installations, because
How was it?
one of the that's an interesting short story, because one of the leading experts in Austria, Werner Weiss from the AE Intec, he was one of the founders of AE Intec in Geisdorf. He met financial guides in New York at a conference, yeah, and they said, "Well, we are from the finance business. We don't have any clue on what are you doing? Solar thermal. We don't have any clue on solar thermal. But where is solar thermal needed? I mean, tell us the 3-4 preconditions where solar thermal is needed." And he thought, they have no idea of solar thermal, and they're asking me now. That's total unserious, but I tell them. Yeah, and he said, where there is a lot of sun, there is a heat demand with a low temperature, high fuel costs, yeah, and a very hot and very high demand all over the year. Yeah? These 4 preconditions are perfect. And they said, thank you very much, and went away. One and a half year or 1 year later, he met them again at a conference, and they told him, we found the perfect application for what you told us. He even didn't remember that he told them. And they said, mining in Chile. And that was perfect, because nobody in the solar thermal business would have thought of mining in Chile. Nobody. And it was the reason that they were out of the business. They were thinking out of the box, and they only had these 4 pillars, and they screened the economy of South America of fulfilling these 4 pillars. They just screened the economy, all branches, everything, without any Richard is just I don't know nothing. I just have these 4 pillars, and I screened the economy, and they found mining matches. And so they found these installations, yeah. And that was perfect, because it shows that we for the market, often we need people thinking out of the box. We need people not involved in the solar thermal business, but come from outside and have a new, fresh look on solar thermal. That's what they did. And that's the reason why there are these mining installations.
Good story. Thank you for sharing.
In Chile.
I am curious about how do they do it with the water, because they're in the desert. The quality of water is super hard, full of minerals. So was it a challenge? Do you know how was?
They have to prepare the water. Yeah, they have to prepare, but it's a closed circuit. The solar thermal circuit has to prepare once the needed amount of water, and then this circulates this prepared water or treated water circulates in the
It's closed.
Yeah, it's closed. It's a closed loop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying that time is flying, but we have another interesting question that we wanted to know. For example, we are talking about electrification, but with other interviews, we have realized the challenge of the infrastructure capacity, right? So have you made some studies how solar thermal could help, for example, to heat pumps to provide the heating demand, not stressing the electrical system? Do you have some?
Yeah, this is one of our main arguments for solar thermal in this sphere of electricity and the electricity grid problems, that we say we take stress out of the energy system. On the one hand, we take stress out of peak loads for heat, because it's not necessary to do it by electricity. We can do it by solar thermal. And stress out of the resource demand for biomass, because we also have a limited amount of biomass available if everyone wants to need biomass. If companies want to need biomass more for higher temperatures and so the demand will rise. And there is much biomass there, but there is a limited resource mainly, yeah. And we take also stress out of the biomass resource base, that we say in summer the biomass is not burned, it's stored for winter. So this is one of the main arguments by solar thermal, that we take out of stress out of the energy system.
Yeah, because we came across with the number of 70% less grid stress. Would it be correct, or it's too much?
Where did you get the number from? I don't have a number, honestly. I've never seen a number of that. But you mean by solar thermal, 70% less stress?
Less stress.
It would be interesting. I would be interested in the calculation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go maybe in another
Yeah.
interview. We are now in a geopolitical situation with Russia, the gas dependency. How do you see the solar thermal role in the whole region to reduce the dependency of Russian gas?
Yeah, in Austria is one other strong argument for, or the second strong argument for solar thermal is that there is no need for energy import and no need for technological import.
You could
So that-
cover it completely.
No, I mean that means not that the solar thermal reduces or to operate solar thermal, there is no need for energy import. So if you have more solar thermal installations, we don't need more energy from the outside. Like with biomass, you might import it, or electricity, you have to import it if you need more electricity. If you use more solar thermal, then it's delivered by the sun. There is no energy necessity for energy imports to operate it, as with other sources. So this is one argument, and another argument is it becomes more and more important that solar thermal technology does not come from China. Photovoltaics and others, wind, come from China. Not everything. Solar thermal is we produce 10 times more solar thermal collectors than we use in Austria. We export 90%. So we help to decarbonize other countries.
Austria is a manufacturer of solar thermal. Oh, wow.
Austria is one of the main manufacturers worldwide of only topped by China of solar thermal. And we also have one of the largest solar thermal collector producers, Grimontech in Carinthia. But in Austria, we produce each year 10 times the amount of solar collectors we install in Austria, 90% we export. So there is no solar collector from China, and also no component for the solar collectors from China. It's just, this is a technological independent product. That becomes more and more important. Over years, we were arguing to reduce Russian gas imports by solar thermal. Now that's done, because Russian gas is done. We have no more Russian gas in Austria. That's very interesting that over decades, it was always the quote that it's impossible. We have these contracts the next 40 years and it is impossible to step out. Now, Putin did us a favor and stopped the gas deliveries. And so we are free of Russian gas directly. We have it indirectly by LNG, because it goes by LNG via other countries to Austria, as we know. But we have other sources too. We have USA and so, but we need to reduce that to zero in the next 14 years until 2040. Austria wants to become carbon neutral. That means carbon neutral means no gas and no oil. And solar thermal in the overall overall heating demand up to 150 degrees in Austria. Our roadmap calculations show that, let's say, 20% of the whole energy, of the whole heat demand up to 150 degree can be covered by solar thermal. In theory, practically, we have today 2%. So 10 times.
So super.
So we have a hope lag of 10 times of what we do now.
It is very interesting what you said. Also, Austria being the largest producer after China, it will be in interest of Austrian policymakers that the other regional countries in Central and Eastern Europe, especially, they have very poor solar thermal, as you said, that they lobby about it, that they make mandates that could really accelerate the adoption of solar thermal, at least on the level that Austria already has.
That's what we do by Solar Heat Europe, by the umbrella association. So we have contacts in other countries. We also have very active communication and contacts to Serbia, to Czech Republic, to Slovakia, to Eastern Europe countries, because we want to help them to install or found associations and help the market rise, and so, because this is the role of an association. This is a task of the European Association, but you need in these countries, you need the right people responding. You need a response in this, and there was still no really respondent actors that overtook the task and said, we want to develop a solar thermal market and found an association and help us. We would be open to help, but you need someone who wants to be helped.
People know that it's
yeah,
opportunity.
Yeah.
Where are the current 90% of the exports going?
Mainly Germany, France, and Italy.
Okay.
Mainly. Also other countries, but mainly.
So it's all market to cover Eastern Europe.
Main market is in Europe.
And if you could also, because it's such an interesting fact, so could also tell us the economic factors of installing a solar thermal compared to heat pump, for example. What are the economical pros and cons of installing solar thermal?
Compared to heat pump and the wood boiler, so it's difficult to say because you don't change your oil boiler or gas boiler to a heat pump because of the payback time. Nobody does that. But you change it because of security reasons. Because you say, I want to step out of this weird price game, this international issues, and I want to change to a renewable source, and so they change to heat pump, for instance. It's not so much because of they count the payback period. In solar thermal, everyone counts payback period. And the normal payback period of a subsidized solar thermal is of a hot water solar thermal system. It's below 10%, below 10 years of subsidized system. And for a hot water and heating system, it's larger. It's 10 to 15 years. That are the topic numbers. Yeah. And if it's not subsidized, it's longer. But with a subsidized system, it's like that. Yeah.
If you now thinking in the future, which law or regulation or legal framework would you recommend to some countries in Eastern Europe to foster solar thermal technology?
Mainly a subsidy, an investment subsidy. So a percentage of the investment, like 30% of the or 40% of the investment is subsidized. This is a powerful tool. It's also what we had in Austria that also helped, that there was a subsidy obligation with other subsidies. So that meant if you build a multi-family house, for instance, and you get a subsidy for that, then we had it a couple of years in all of Austria, almost in all provinces, that you only get the subsidy if you install a solar thermal installation. It was a kind of solar thermal obligation with the subsidy obligation. It was not a building directive, so that you are not allowed to build it. You could build it without solar thermal, but
you get subsidy.
You didn't get subsidy if you did not install solar thermal.
But only that technology. Not
solar. It was only with solar thermal. Yeah, so these were the golden times. I was already managing director then, and I must admit I was involved in the installation of these regulations as a lobbyist. But it's years ago.
So that was a good win.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good win. And it really pushed the market. Yeah. Because they wanted to have the subsidy. And so they installed the solar thermal. Yeah.
But had there been, you've been in solar thermal for so many decades. So had there been incremental innovation as well in solar thermal?
Yes, there had been more innovations at the start. So from the first 20 to 30 years of solar thermal, from 1970 to 2000, different parts of solar thermal. Yeah, so not only the collectors and the storages, but also to pack it to systems where the collector fits to the storage, fits to the control unit and everything. Yeah, that happened in the 90s. And afterwards, there were these larger collectors for the larger installations, because that reduces the installation time on site. Reduces. If you come with a large collector, then you can install 2,000 square meters a day. Yeah, you have these large collectors and prefabricated.
Like plug and play.
Plug and play, right? More plug and play. There had been some control units with weather forecast, but only some that didn't really roll out. And the storages became more insulated, and there were technical what happens in the storage to get the heat in and out. Yeah, that has been improved. Yeah, partly technical improvements. Yeah, and PVT, the hybrid collectors, the new kind of collector that looks like a PV collector from the outside and has heat pipes on the back and removes the heat from the PV.
That increase,
That increases the PV system, and it helps to get out a lot of heat, which is indirectly produced by the sun, because the sun heats the PV panel, and this produces electricity but also heat. And the heat is not used normally, yeah? And you can use this heat with this combined hybrid collectors. So these are last year. The amount of last year we doubled with the newly installed PVT collectors. We doubled the already existing amount of PVT collectors. So we had 4,000 PVT square meters PVT collectors there, and we added 4,000 last year. So what we had already during all the years, all the history, we added it we doubled it in 1 year. That was last. I mean, it's all not 4,000 square meters, 8,000 square meters. It's not Austria, but it's not the whole of Austria. I mean, but it's not a big market yet. But the dynamics are impressive.
Are they being manufactured in
Austria? Yeah,
hybrid ones.
Yeah.
So you acquire the cells, the PV cells,
right?
And you integrate it here.
Genau, it's only they compile it to the it's
integration of
it's the integration. Yeah.
No. Why I asked about the innovation?
You only assemble it. I was looking. It's only assembling here in Austria. Yeah.
Okay.
Why I asked about the innovation in the solar thermal field is that as the technology progresses, people tend to not like the subsidy part in installation of the technology. But the technology is already mature, been there for a couple of decades. You think that because for the subsidy scheme, why it's still needed from your rationale that the subsidies?
Because fossil fuels are still too cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Still too cheap. And if you count on the payback rate and all what is cheaper, the heat from solar thermal or the heat from fossil fuels, then still fossil fuels are equal or win. So if fossil fuels are not expensive enough, then you need subsidies because otherwise the people decide by money. One aspect I didn't mention on innovation is that what changed. What I realized is, let's say 10, 15 years ago, the companies came and said, I have a gas boiler, I want to reduce my gas bill. Can you help me with solar thermal to reduce the gas bill? Okay. Now this is over. They are coming now and say, I have a gas boiler, and can you help me to remove the gas boiler? Okay. This is different. This is since 5 years that's different. Yeah, remove the gas boiler, and that means that the solar thermal companies, together with project developers, started and was an important innovation. Started to offer total solutions where solar thermal is part. With ambient heat, using ambient heat, using waste heat, in a company, then using solar thermal heat, using heat pump, and to combine that to a system that exchanges or replaces the gas boiler with the same service. On electricity, even electricity with photovoltaics, with hybrid collectors on only photovoltaics. So the companies, if they consult now or if they contact the consultant now, they are not asking to reduce the energy bill. And that needs new solutions. And this was one of the innovation in the solar thermal business, that they realized that it's not anymore enough to offer a solar thermal collector or a solar collector with buffer tank solar thermal system. That's not if you are in the business business world with the companies, then you need full solutions. You need all-in-one solutions where solar thermal is part of it. And that's what they are offering.
Wow.
That's new. That's new. The system perspective. So we came in the last 5 years. We came from a technological perspective to a system perspective, systemical perspective, and that really changed also the whole business activities.
Do you see this moving on to young people getting into the sector, that getting employment in the solar thermal business? What do you think that are the young people coming, and how do you want to attract? Because there's so many other technologies as well going on. So where do you see if this sector is able to attract the talent, and what needs to be done for that?
We are actually asked regularly on jobs for solar thermal by young people, but we have to admit that the market is going down and doesn't really offer jobs, but we struggle to keep the jobs. With solar thermal, because of the market going down, because it was overtook by electricity, PV, heat pumps and everything. So unfortunately, the solar thermal branch not really has to offer many jobs.
This is a question that we are asking the guests to see where they would invest. For example, if you would have 100 million euros, what would you do to accelerate any transition or to foster solar thermal technology?
I would start a contracting company and offering solar thermal process heat for companies where I can finance everything. And I offer service by heat, pay by heat, so that they, like contracting, that they pay to me the next 10, 15 years. But I have to have the 100 million for the upfront investment. I would put it into upfront investments of promising solar process heat applications, and also to start this company. With the 10 best people, I would acquire the best people in the market. I would give them high salaries, and I need the money for that. Without earning enough money in the first 3 years, let's say, that's a business plan. But afterwards, it would go. That's what I would do with 100 million.
That's ESCO business,
right? Yeah, I would make the best and biggest ESCO on solar thermal in Europe.
Okay, if we get 100,
then contact me. Contact me, and I also offer you 2 jobs. Because then I will need good people, good staff, and I propose that you're part of a probably good staff.
We are very glad to know that once we have 100 million, we will have a job.
And maybe thinking also in the future for new professionals who are finishing studies and getting into this field of solar thermal technology, let's say, which advice would you give them?
I would ask a project developer for a job for the people, because I think that's the most interesting field to work at a project developer that offers heating solutions for companies. Or also for, like, say, larger housing projects or so. So the heating solution, even with multifamily houses, not single houses with 10 flats or so, but a housing a district. That's very interesting what you can do there. So companies who are doing the house technique for these housing district developments, or for companies, the house technique, or designing the energy systems for them. That's really interesting. If I would be young again, I think I would do that. I would step in it, because that's the new hot stuff at the moment.
Now we wanted to share with the community that you just released.
I released a new book in February.
Please tell us about it.
What is it about? What are you telling? But it's in German.
It's in German, it's in German. It's a warning, it's in German.
But what is the topic?
The title says how to save the world without worrying all the time. without worrying so much. What seems to be a contradiction, yeah?
Mhm.
Because saving the world always worries people. But that's not the reason why I have written this book, because the last 30 years we tried to save the world with worrying, with desperation, and with saying, oh, it's become so bad and we have to
Yeah.
do something, and with anxious, and this did not work out.
Mhm.
The emissions are rising and rising despite all that. So I said, okay, if this didn't work, let's try with patience and humor, because I think we have one problem, that if you talk about the climate neutral world, it's hardly a picture of hope. It's a picture of fear, because if I talk with people, and when we have a climate neutral world, then they often tell me immediately two things they are not allowed to do then. Are not eating meat and flying and everything. Yeah? So it's a place of fear. Yeah? It's a future of fear, a climate neutral world, because there is, and for me, it's totally different. For me, it's a climate neutral world, a place of hope, yeah? Where I long for. I have a longing for that. Yeah? And I think that with climate neutrality, we miss the longing for a climate neutral world. And I want to help for this longing, and I want to help that we have fun with striving for a climate neutral world. That's something that I want to go for, because I'm looking for it, yeah, because I'm longing for it. But yeah, that's the book.
Okay.
So that the book keeps hope and makes hope and a good feeling for a climate neutral future.
Yeah. Thank you for the gift. It's motivation to learn German. Practice.
Yes.
Practice. Yeah.
Thank you, Roger, for giving your time.
Thank you for being
very
invited.
insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't touch upon the new solar taxes that we are going to save it for other episodes, because it's another hot topic.
It's another hot topic.
But in electricity market.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
But before we let you go, we are getting with the book. You said that we should think about not the negative part of it, but what do you think about Trump in all of this?
I have to laugh about Trump, honestly. Yeah.
With humor.
Yeah, with humor. Because on the one hand, because I had to laugh when he decided that his minister for defense and the minister for home security, I think, and the leader of the CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency, the three people, they flew to Alaska in the cold with really thick clothing, yeah, and were standing there in front of journalists to explain that now they stop all regulations, yeah, and now they will get new oil and gas out of the ground, yeah. Now, and Trump said, there in Alaska we have sources, and now we tap these new sources, and now we are open. We give licenses for that, and all large oil corporations in the US are invited to buy that license to get the oil and gas out of this rich Alaska grounds. And what happened? After 2 months, and even it's still the case, not one of the oil companies applied for the license.
No way. And
no.
How so?
No, because it's economically nonsense. Yeah, because there is no infrastructure there. They would have to build the complete infrastructure, the wells, all the pipelines, all the streets. They have no infrastructure there, the housing, nothing to get this oil out, and they have to pay all that. Yeah, and USA already since 10 years is oil exporter. Yeah, they are export. That means that they have enough oil. That means that if they buy a license, they have to produce oil which they sell in the world market. You never know the price. Highly risky. Yeah, and so they decided that's a nice idea of an old man, but we won't do that. I must laugh that with ideology you can't change reality. Yeah. He can say, my ideology is oil and gas, and we will now, against all Democrats and all other Greens, and so we will tap the oil sources in Alaska. All Greens and all sensible people are against it. We do it because we make America great again, yeah? and we sell this license, but nobody wants to buy it. I must laugh, yeah, because and that's what he does all the time. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your insight about trumpet bill.
And yeah, thank you for watching the interview until the end. And keep tuned, because soon we're going to have more interviews and interesting topics in energy transition. So see you until the next time.